Yeah. What's going on, Matt? What's going on, Matt? Rhythm, Daryl, Boucher, Gabriel, Sean. Takedown season tonight. Yeah, let's start a big street today. Good day to start. NFL Sundays, the best days to be playing NBA DFS. Although there really isn't much news today. We're not waiting on anything, so anything that happens injury-wise is pretty much out of nowhere. So not really much has changed. I've taken stronger stances on certain players today, and we'll go over that. But man, I'm really loving Nikola Jokic today. Love him a ton. Little Monster, what's up? Send those likes. Yeah, if you guys are in here, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Saturday, Sunday, doesn't matter what day it is. I'm here every single day dropping my video, as well as live streaming an hour before lock, breaking everything down for you guys, and trying to offer as much advice as I possibly can. If you guys want to join my Patreon to get my full FanDuel lineups, DraftKings information, prize picks, plays every single day, my Patreon is $25 a month. Linked down below in the description if you guys want to join that. The in-game showdown killer. Yeah, in-game showdowns have been nice. Didn't play last night because Saturdays, I take Saturdays off from the in-game only. Regular slates, I play those. But we'll be back at it tonight. And we get the Clippers. The Clippers are probably my favorite team. The Clippers and Lakers are my favorite in-game showdown team. So if you guys want to get some action in there, that would be really, really nice. But yeah, let's just get into this. Got like a nice like 4x. Nice, man. Yeah, I did see that the game ended up blowing out. I was going to put some prize picks plays in there for the fourth quarter and the second half, but they took them down right before I could even make my own entries for the second half. So, typical behavior. All right, guys, we will start up top with the Golden State Warriors versus the Charlotte Hornets at 227 over under. The Warriors are currently 5-point favorites. The Warriors, they are going to be without James Wiseman. Klay Thompson, Damian Lee is expected to play, so he should be available. And, you know, I think that this game probably ends up going small. We know the Warriors inevitably are going to run small. They don't play Kevon Looney in the fourth quarter. So we're going to see a lot of Draymond Green. Draymond Green is only $6,200. His minutes are down because the Warriors are constantly in blowouts. This game is in Charlotte. Only 5-point spread right now. So I'm expecting this game to be competitive. And, you know, if this game is competitive, he should play. You see the games that are competitive, he plays 35 minutes, 38 minutes. Whenever he's playing low minutes, it's either because he's in foul trouble or the game ends up blowing out. So in a normal scenario, Draymond Green is one of the best plays on the entire slate. Really the only guy from this Golden State Warriors team that I'm considering today. Then on the Charlotte Hornets side, they are going to be without PJ Washington, so that secures the minutes of Mason Plumlee. But in this matchup against the Golden State Warriors, where the game is inevitably going to go small, especially down the stretch of the fourth quarter, I'm expecting Mason Plumlee to get benched in the fourth quarter, and we're probably going to see a guy like Kelly Oubre or Cody Martin enter the closing lineup. More times than not, it's going to be Kelly Oubre, and he does have upside if he starts knocking down shots. He's only $4,300, fits a lot of my builds very, very nicely today. Yeah, and if this game continues to go small, we're going to see that closing lineup of LaMelo Ball, Terry Rozier, Kelly Oubre, Miles Bridges, and Gordon Hayward. I'm expecting to see that lineup for the majority of the time in the fourth quarter. So, like Kelly Oubre, I think he gets a considerable bump here in a very, very fast game. One of the best game environments on the entire slate. It's just the pricing is not very enticing for anybody here outside of Kelly Oubre and Draymond Green on the other side. Move over to the Phoenix Suns versus the Houston Rockets at 221.5 over under. The Suns are currently 8.5-point favorites. The Suns, they are going to be without Darius Saric, DeAndre Ayton, and then Abdel Nader is available to play. Chris Paul leads the league with 19.6 potential assists per game. Teammates should have pretty easy shot attempts in this game against the Houston Rockets, one of the worst defenses in the league. They don't really contest any shots. And, Chris Paul, 19.6 potential assists is wild. That's like a full 2.6 more than Luka Doncic, who I believe is in second place in potential assists a game. And against a Houston Rockets inexperienced team like this, Chris Paul should be able to do whatever he wants. You could see a very, very high assist game here as long as this game is competitive. It is an 8.5 point spread, so there is some risk there. JaVale McGee is going to continue to start in place of DeAndre Ayton. Only one of these games where DeAndre Ayton has been absent had he played more than Frank Kaminsky. I think in this matchup, it actually suits JaVale McGee a bit better with it being a fast-paced game. So he's more of a tournament option for me, and then Frank Kaminsky's a bit too expensive for me to consider personally, especially with the risk of him getting the lower part of minutes compared to JaVale McGee, because if he only plays like 16, 18 minutes, you're not going to want to pay $5,200 for him. Move over to the Houston Rockets. John Wall is out. This team is pretty barren with options that I'm really all that interested in. Kevin Porter Jr. at $6,000. He leads the team with a 24.2% usage rating and 26.5 assist percentage. I liked him a lot more over on FanDuel, where we ended up playing him. I still think that there is a ton of upside right here at $6,000. I just am somewhat concerned about him drawing Mikal Bridges a lot because he is turnover prone, and he could get his pockets picked quite frequently in this matchup. Only 2 turnovers against them last time out. Move over to the Brooklyn Nets versus the Oklahoma City Thunder at 215.5 over under. The Nets are currently 9.5 point favorites. The Nets, they are going to be without Kyrie Irving, Paul Millsap, Nicholas Claxton. With no Millsap's supposed to be out for a while now due to personal reasons. I'm not sure what's going on with him, but with him being out, he wasn't all that much in the rotation anyways, but it is going to secure more minutes for guys like LaMarcus Aldridge and Blake Griffin, who are splitting all 48 of those center minutes, especially without Nicholas Claxton. LaMarcus Aldridge has been very, very good so far this year, averaging 1.16 fantasy points per minute. He's very active off the bench, should be able to absolutely murder this Oklahoma City front court. It's going to be brutal for the Thunder in this game. I think that they get pieced up pretty easily. But LaMarcus coming off the bench, with how his rotation works, it doesn't really matter if this game ends up blowing out either, because he's going to get his full complement of minutes, which is going to be like 21, 22 minutes, maybe a couple more with no Millsap. But, a good projection would be like 21, 22 minutes out of him. But with him being so aggressive, it's really easy for him to pay off this $4,300 price tag. James Harden, Kevin Durant, I think are good plays, but with this being a 5-game slate, you kind of have to take some stands. And I'm taking stands with Paul George and Nikola Jokic as my 2 favorite spend ups over James Harden and Kevin Durant. But if you are on them, I think that's fine. It's just I would rather avoid the blowout risk if I can. Move over to the Oklahoma City Thunder. They have no injury. Well, I guess Mike Muscala is out now. And like I expected and talked about in my video earlier, Jeremiah Robinson Earl is going to start in this game. He's only $3,700. I think Jeff Green is going to be very, very popular today. Good for good reason. He's starting. Should see low 30s minutes, more minutes than Jeremiah Robinson Earl. But man, Earl is an interesting pivot because Jeff Green's going to be very, very popular. You could pivot over to a very very low-owned JRE at 3,700. He doesn't do all that much outside of get boards. He shoots sometimes. I think he shot 1 for 9 last time out. But if you tell me that he gets 9 shot attempts and he's going to play 29 minutes, I would play him 10 out of 10 times at $3,700. Just not sure if that happens. He will get blowout run too. So that's the positive about him. And then if this game does stay close, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Josh Giddey, Darius Bazley, Lou Dort are all definitely in play. But it is very, very risky, in my opinion, to play these guys over here on DraftKings. FanDuel a bit better, but the blowout risk is real. And talking about Josh Giddey, his projection in my video when I was talking about him earlier was at 24 fantasy points, and now his projection is up to 28.5. These lines have moved pretty significantly. And we were talking about Bobby Portis and Clint Capella. We took the overs on those guys, and they moved up like 3-4 points as well before that game ended up locking. And if you guys played on FanDuel, obviously you know that game locked, or that slate locked 10 minutes ago. Move over to the Portland Trailblazers versus the Denver Nuggets, the most enticing game on the entire slate. At 208 over under, the Nuggets are currently 6.5-point favorites. The Trailblazers, they are going to be without Damian Lillard since the beginning of last year with no Damian Lillard on the court. CJ McCollum has a 30.8% usage rating, 29.7 assist percentage, while averaging 1.17 fantasy points per minute. I'm just going to lock and load CJ McCollum in all of my lineups today. If he busts, I mean, it seems very unlikely to me. I think he's going to play big minutes. I mean, we could see him play 38, 40 minutes here without Damian Lillard if this game is close. Yusuf Nurkic averages 1.3 fantasy points per minute since the beginning of last year with no Damian Lillard on the court. Now, his minutes have been down significantly this year. Sometimes they go small. Sometimes they just give Cody Zeller absurd minutes off the bench. Sometimes the games blow out. A lot of these games for the Trailblazers have blown out, especially at the beginning of the year. And so his minutes got cut short. But in this matchup against Nikola Jokic, just to match his size, I think that Nurkic actually probably plays around 30 minutes in this game, which he would absolutely destroy his price tag at $6,700. So I like Yusuf Nurkic a good bit today. I like him quite a bit. And then Anthony Simons, likely going to be the starter in place of Damian Lillard. He's the most obvious value play on the entire slate. He's been very active this year, shooting a lot more than he did recently, and his minutes are up because they have been willing to play him next to CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard at the same time. They've used him in the past, recently. In the closing lineups over guys like Robert Covington and Norman Powell. So now that Lillard is out, it almost entirely ensures that he will be a part of the closing lineup, should play 30 plus minutes in this matchup. $3,500 is way too cheap for Anthony Simons with no Damian Lillard. The Denver Nuggets, they are going to be without Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., and Vlatko Cancar. Without Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. since the beginning of last year, Nikola Jokic in 534 minutes at 35.4% usage rating, 20.9 total rebound percentage, 38.8 assist percentage, while averaging 1.8 fantasy points per minute. He is pricey, $11,600, but I think he is the clear top spend-up option on the entire slate. Should be able to bully this Portland Trailblazers defense. They look very distraught out there, and just a guy like Nikola Jokic is going to kind of be the puppeteer of this Denver Nuggets offense tonight. So I love Jokic. I'm going to be playing him in all of my lineups tonight. I think Jeff Green at 3,700. I talked about him a bit earlier when I was talking about Jeremiah Robinson Earl. Very good cash play. Should play 30 plus minutes. That's what we've been seeing from him since he's entered the starting lineup without Michael Porter Jr. His rebounding numbers are down pretty significantly this year because instead of him playing backup 5 minutes for a small ball team, he's running as the 4. So his rebounding numbers are down pretty significantly. So, he's not as good of a play as you would think. That's why he's not an S tier play for us, but he is an A tier play. And if you guys want to make that pivot to Jeremiah Robinson Earl, I think that's also a pretty solid move. Move over to the last game of the slate, the Chicago Bulls versus the Los Angeles Clippers at 218.5 over under. The Clippers are currently 4.5-point favorites. The Bulls are going to be without Nikola Vucevic and Patrick Williams. Kobe White should be out in this game. He's not going to return for a little while he's in the G League right now. Tony Bradley started at the 5 last game. But it looked like Alize Johnson was the clear option. Obviously, that was against a Warriors team that likes to play small. Much better matchup for Alize Johnson. But this is against a Clippers team which, as of recently, want to play Ivica Zubac and Hartenstein all 48 center minutes. So if they're going to be running a true center out there at all times, this is a much better matchup for Tony Bradley. They also mentioned that they could go small with Derrick Jones Jr., but as long as they are playing Zubac and Hartenstein on the opposite side, I think that Tony Bradley actually gets the lion's share of center minutes here. I know he disappointed last time out because of these minutes, but I told you guys that there was a chance that Alize Johnson ended up getting more minutes than him. This game obviously blew out as well, so this could be a big bounce back spot for Tony Bradley at $3,500. His ownership is going to be way lower than it was last time out. And then we saw Zach LaVine last game in the first game without Nikola Vucevic at 31.4% usage rating. He busted, but the opportunities were definitely there. I think at $8,200, he is one of the best spend-ups on the entire slate. If you consider $8,200 a spend-up, then I don't mind Lonzo Ball at $6,600. Like him a bit more over on FanDuel. where you get the 3 points for steals and blocks. Don't mind him at all. And then move over to the Los Angeles Clippers. Kawhi Leonard, Marcus Morris, Jason Preston, they are all out. Serge Ibaka is still in the G League, so he is not going to play either. But I do want to mention that once Serge Ibaka returns, they brought his price down all the way to almost the bare minimum. He's $3,100 right now. So the next time that they're on the slate and he is in fact playing, he's probably going to be viable, even if he plays limited minutes off the bench. Because since he's playing in the G League right now, I think that he's going to be fully ramped up and ready to go once he is back in the rotation of the Clippers. Just wanted to mention that. And then Paul George, I think, is the second best spend-up option on the slate outside of Nikola Jokic. I mean, he continues to do his thing. He didn't pay off his price tag yesterday. He scored 40 fantasy points, but that was because the game blew out. The only times that he doesn't pay off his price tag is when the games end up blowing out. He lost minutes to blowout in the Charlotte game and these other games. But in games that are competitive, he's playing like 38 minutes a game. So I love Paul George today. I think he's the second best spend-up option on the slate. Don't mind Reggie Jackson. He should continue to play big minutes. And then Vika Zubac, I mean, as long as they are going to continue to play big with Zubac, they kind of just abandoned playing small. They got rid of the small ball lineups because they have been very, very bad. They've been playing much better with Zubac out there. As long as this game is competitive, he should play 28-30 minutes, about a fantasy point per minute player. Gets a great matchup against Tony Bradley and Alize Johnson. Should be facing one of those two guys at all times. A far cry from Nikola Vucevic defensively. So I like Zubac quite a bit at $5,000. And then Eric Bledsoe, $4,900. I mean, he is really earning his role back. With them going bigger, it looks like Bledsoe is the guy that they want to use in the closing lineup as well, with Bledsoe, Reggie, Zubac, Paul George. And so, yeah, I like Eric Bledsoe as one of my favorite value plays at $4,900. I do prefer Zubac to him. But yeah, you could end up playing both of them. I think that's completely fine. But just a quick recap, really focusing on that Portland Trailblazers Denver Nuggets game with Nikola Jokic. And then kind of mix and matching some other pieces. All right, guys. Lonzo Ball, slate breaker, definitely possible. Let's get it tonight. Feeling good about this slate? Yeah, man. I'm feeling really good about this slate. And especially with it being NFL Sunday, the competition usually is much, much softer. Best cash plays, pretty much everybody from the Portland Trailblazers and Denver Nuggets games, like Anthony Simmons, CJ McCollum, Nikola Jokic. I think Draymond Green is a very, very safe cash play as well. 3.5K forward. Let me take a look. See if we have anybody down here. Yeah, it's really tough down here. Yeah, I mean, it might be Derek Favors. Actually, you know what? I would end up going with Alize Johnson here at 3,300 and just hope that he continues to play more minutes than Tony Bradley, which I think is definitely possible. Because, I mean, Tony Bradley could get in foul trouble. We've definitely seen that before. So, yeah, it would be Alize Johnson pretty clearly for me for a 3.5K, sub 3.5K forward. PG-13 and Kennard or Alonzo and Levine 2v2. And then Rocco, Little, Uncle Jeff, Vacuum, all for DK. PG-13 Kennard versus Alonzo and Levine 2v2. It's probably the Levine's side. I'm not really on Kennard at all, because with them playing closing with Zubac now, that's just like one less guard / wing that gets into the closing lineup, so that's even less likelihood of Kennard closing, and he really needs all those minutes he can get. So I'm gonna take the Bulls side. And then in a vacuum, I think I prefer Robert Covington if you have that leftover money, which I'm assuming you do. Any Bones Highland? No Bones Highland from me. Earl or Jeff Green? Jeff Green is a much safer cash play, so if you just want to play it safe, I think it's Jeff Green. If you want some more upside, I think Jeremiah Robinson Earl is probably your guy. My gut says fade Jeff Green. I think that's definitely fine. Simmons and CJ and go from there. Yep. And I probably throw in one of these studs tonight. My preferences for pay-up options tonight is Nikola Jokic, and then shortly behind him is going to be Paul George. Any power forward you're looking at on DK. Yeah, let me bring up my cheat sheet real quick. Jog my memory real quick. At power forward. Yeah, so I mean, Jeff Green is definitely viable there, and so is Jeremiah Robinson Earl. DeMar DeRozan's fine too. It's pretty funny to me that DeMar DeRozan's considered a power forward. When his whole career he's been a shooting guard, but now apparently he's a power forward on Draftkings. Any Dort? Yeah, so I mean, Dort has been playing out of his mind recently, and these games have been competitive, and so he's been paying off his price tag. He is only $5,000, so really simple for him to pay off that tag. More of a secondary option for me, just because there is pretty big blowout risk here with the Brooklyn Nets. But I do think that he is squarely in play. Like if you have just enough money for him to fill out your roster, I think Lou Dort is definitely fine. LMA, JaVale, or Oubre. You know, I probably go with LMA there. I would rank it LMA, Oubre, and then JaVale. I do think that Kelly Oubre is one of the sneakier plays on the slate because typically he doesn't close out these games. It's Mason Plumlee or PJ Washington, whoever the center is that night. But I really do think that they match the small ball size of the Golden State Warriors, and that's going to give more minutes to a guy like Kelly Oubre. And he is priced down pretty significantly. If you had to choose first bucket in the Hornets and Warriors game on the Charlotte team, who would you pick? Man, I know people do that. People bet the first bucket. That's funny. Let's go Mason Plumlee. I bet he has pretty decent odds. Playing close to the basket. Did you say Kobe White was in the G League right now? Yeah, Kobe White is in the G League right now. He should be coming back soon, though. Yeah, Billy Donovan said Wednesday that he's hopeful he will be able to make his debut sometime during the upcoming West Coast road swing. So they are just starting this road trip in LA right now. So don't think he's going to be in this game, but I think eventually he'll be able to play in the near future. Oubre or Bridges, the one from Phoenix? Bridges for sure if I have the money. What's the likelihood that Kelly Oubre plays 25 plus minutes tonight? I think there's a pretty good chance tonight in this matchup specifically. I don't know why we keep getting reports on Michael Porter Jr. because they already said that he's going to be out for a long time, and we keep getting news that he's out each and every game. Like, I don't think we need that news. I don't think he's coming back anytime soon. KD or PG-13 last piece in. I'm leaning PG-13 today, personally. I think KD is going to be a lot higher owned, but I'm going to keep going back to the well with Paul George. Do you prefer Jamie and two studs with CJ or more of a balanced line? More of a balanced line for me today. Powell or Tate or Baisley. I'm going to go with Norm Powell there. LaMelo, KD, or Harden. Harden for me. JRE or Nasir Little on DK. I'm going to go with JRE there. Any Damian Lee. Yeah, Damian Lee is like, they dropped his price pretty significantly, but before he was getting injured, he was a big part of their closing lineups for the majority of the season. His minutes started to tail off at the end, largely due to blowouts, but I think he is definitely in play at $3,200, and nobody's going to play him. My only concern is that since he is coming back from missing a couple games due to injury, that he may not get full run. You like Jeff Green or Nasir Little? I like Jeff Green there. Oh, shit, you can't get Rocco with Levine's side, actually. So Little or Uncle Jeff. I'm going to go with Uncle Jeff there. Yeah, let's get it. Good luck, Ray. Yeah, I have literally no clue, so beware. I wonder if there is, like, an art to that, to predicting the first basket of the games. Because I know people definitely do that. Would be a fun sweat, too, to watch. Mikal Bridges, Dort, Jalen Green, or Bledsoe for last spot. I'm going to go with Bledsoe there. First bucket in the Denver vs. Portland game. I'm putting my entire bankroll on it, please. Okay, Nurkic or Draymond Green. I mean, if you have the money, I prefer Nurkic, but Draymond Green, for his price, is just crazy today. And we got over 175 people in here on a Sunday. NFL Sunday. Appreciate you guys being here. If you guys appreciate me being here or enjoy my streams or find any information about these streams useful, would really appreciate if you guys could drop a subscription as well as liking the video. It's completely free. All you have to do is hit those buttons down below. Kaminsky and Campaign, a good play. Not really. I mean, Kaminsky at his price, he needs to continue to playing the lion's share of minutes off the bench over JaVale McGee. I think that is likely to happen. So I don't mind Kaminsky. It's just a bit too risky for me because he could very well just play like 16 minutes while JaVale McGee plays the rest of it. Any love for Hayward? No love for Hayward today. Any Gordon love? No. I was on Aaron Gordon on Prize Picks the other day, and he like shattered his projection. I think his projection was like 22, and he got like 40 something. But I'm not really on him today. Subscribe to you yesterday, man. But for GBP, I got Simmons, Levine, CJ, PG13, DeRozan, Bruce Brown, Zubats in either Tice or Kennard. Yeah, I like that. I'm trying to think, Tice or Kennard there. I probably go with Tice over Kennard for the reason I mentioned earlier. With Zubats being a part of the closing lineups now and them not playing small ball, it's just less likelihood of Kennard getting bigger minutes. B Keen 95, thank you so much for the sub. Blake or LMA? Definitely LMA for me. They play pretty similar minutes, and LMA is a much more aggressive guy coming off the bench. Robinson Earl or Jeff Green. Jeff Green is a much safer cash game play. He's pretty much guaranteed to play 30 plus minutes in this game. But Jeremiah Robinson Earl, I think has a bit more upside given his matchup, and he's going to be way lower owned than Jeff Green. Levine or DDR vacuum. I like Levine more. Oubre or Powell. I like Powell more for sure. 4,300 Ford. Probably Lamar. Oh, I forget. LaMarcus Aldridge is center only now. No forward eligibility. So yeah, it's going to be Kelly Oubre for me at 4,300. Hartenstein or Bradley. I'm going to go with Bradley there. Hartenstein really needs the game to either blow out or Zubats to get into foul trouble. Bradley has a much easier avenue to getting minutes here. Who will have more points, rebounds, assists, LaMelo Ball or Steph Chef Curry? No, same game, so I'm probably going to go with Curry there. Curry's rebounding numbers are up pretty considerably this year. Draymond or Nurkic? If you have the money, I'd go with Nurkic. But point per dollar, I like Draymond more. Even though it is like we're really splitting hairs right there. To go. Appreciate that, Jermaine. If I was stacking the Golden State Warriors Charlotte game, who's your first three in? Yeah, man. Like, this is like such a good game environment. Super fast paced. I'm just really not that interested in it. But to answer your question, it's probably Kelly Oubre given his price. And, you know, we're going to assume that this game stays competitive. So I'm going to go with Steph Curry and then bring it back with Terry Rozier. Terry Rozier is probably going to play pretty big minutes here. The last time they played Golden State, he was just out there running around chasing Steph Curry. So that actually could take a hit to his offensive game. Because when was this game? It was not too long ago. Yeah. He shot just 12 times, shot 2 for 12, but all of his minutes were used just defending Steph Curry solely. So maybe we get a bit of an offensive uptick in guys like Kelly Oubre when they end up closing that game out. If Simmons doesn't start for some reason, is he still a lock? Yeah, I think so. He's still going to have to play big minutes. They don't really have ball handlers outside of McCollum, Dame Lillard, and Simons, so yeah, I think Simons is a lock regardless of him starting or not. Tony Bradley over Jeff Green, DK GBP. I think that's definitely fine at GBP. I mean, getting off Jeff Green and going with these other guys like Tony Bradley and Jeremiah Robinson Earl, I think he's really sharp in tournaments. Think Nurk will slow down Joker at all? Nah, I don't think. No one's slowing down Joker. Lonzo or Draymond? Definitely Draymond. 3 Blazers, okay. That's definitely fine with no Damian Lillard, and especially given their prices. He will score more points, Rozier or Poole. I'll actually take Poole there. Caruso better play than Tice. Yeah, I think that Caruso has a lot better avenue to getting to minutes than Daniel Tice. Daniel Tice is going to split minutes with Christian Wood at the 5 as well as Alperen Sengun coming off the bench. So Caruso, once he gets in there, he's going to end up closing, especially without Vucevic. And especially if they end up going small, which I think there's like some chance of that happening. PG, Powell, Zoo, or Jokic, Reggie, and Jeff Green. Let's go with the, man, that's tough. I probably go with the Jokic side there. CP3 and Robinson, Earl, or Levine and Griffin on DK. I'm going to go with the CP3 side. Reggie Jackson or Bledsoe. Going to be Reggie Jackson for me. Miles Bridges over, under 32.5 points, rebounds, assists. Only, I need help with this. I like the under on that. I think since Terry Rozier has returned, his numbers have been, his rates have been down. Yeah, Damian Lee officially listed as available to play. You like Jeff Green. Yeah, I think Jeff Green's a good play. Bridges, Hayward, and Ball got the numbers against Golden State Warriors last time. Yep. Any Dennis Smith love? No, no way. No way. Nurkic, Gordon, or Miles Bridges and Aldridge. Let's go with the Nurkic side there. Actually, man, we're probably gonna go with the Miles Bridges side. I'm not really on Aaron Gordon. Hartenstein in play. You know, they have not brought up his price. His minutes are pretty skewed right now because like this game blew out. But obviously he's very active when he's in the game. But in a normal scenario where the game is competitive and Zubac isn't dealing with foul trouble or anything, he's really only going to ever play like 18 minutes at the most, while Zubac plays like 30. And honestly, Zubac probably plays a little bit more than that. But I mean, he can definitely get it done in this amount of minutes. It's not that much different of a play than LaMarcus Aldridge. He's going to play like 4, 5, 6 less minutes. But he is like $1,000 cheaper. Giddey or Bledsoe? Man, that's tough. It's probably Giddey for me. You like Levine a lot today. 2 bad games in a row. Yeah, but the opportunities have been there. And I try not to look at... you can't get too biased with things like that, with like shooting slumps. You just got to look at the opportunities. If the opportunities are there, and over the course of his career, Zach LaVine has been a much better shooter than he has shown the last couple of games. So I'm going to keep betting on him. I think that's the correct route to go. Simon's a lock. Yeah, I think so. Do you think Reggie guards Lonzo or Levine? Probably Zach, right? And Bledsoe on Ball. I don't know if they have them chasing them around. They could actually have Caruso out there doing that. Probably. But yeah, I mean, that makes the most sense to me. Okay, Anthony Simons officially starting for the injured Damian Lillard on Sunday. That's good. He would have been a lot for me regardless, but definitely like to see him in the starting lineup. Just, you know, he's going to be like 90% owned today. I think for good reason, but that's good chalk. Good chalk to eat. JaVale McGee officially starting for the Suns again. Like Bledsoe, yep, I like Bledsoe a ton. Mikal Bridges or Batum, definitely Mikal. Alizé and Levine or Tony Bradley and Bridges, DK, GPP. Definitely the Alizé side. Highest scoring quarter, 1, 2, 3, 4 in Warriors Hornets game. These are the most wild bets. Well, we know that Curry plays the... Actually, let me look this up because it has been getting a bit different. I actually think there might be some edge in this from the Warriors side. Let me look at this. I gotta look at what the rotations have been for Curry lately because they have switched up the rotations slightly. Because it used to be Curry would play the entire first and third quarter. But now that they take him out kind of early in the first and third quarter, so we want to play the highest scoring quarter that Steph Curry is going to play the most in, which, I mean, let's just go with the fourth quarter because assuming this game stays competitive, he's going to come out like right here. He's going to come back in with a couple minutes left in the third quarter, and if the game is close, he'll just play the rest of the fourth quarter. So let's go with the fourth quarter there. And there's typically a lot of scoring at the end of the game, so I think there is some edge in that bet. I feel like LMA has a chance at a solid game versus awful. Okay, I mean, dude, absolutely, yeah. LaMarcus Aldridge could literally murder them. I mean, the teams against the Oklahoma City front court have just gone nuclear lately. I mean, Drew Eubanks the other day just like hung up huge fantasy number, like almost 40 fantasy points. in limited action against Jeremiah Robinson Earl. Like Poole, I don't mind Poole. Like him less with Damian Lee back. Frank the Tank or Powell. Definitely Powell. Dort, Baisley, or Tate Fandle going to play Dort there. Does Poole play less minutes with Damian Lee back? Yeah, I think that there's a less likelihood that he's in the closing rotation with Damian Lee back, because we've seen Damian Lee multiple times this year close over Jordan Poole. Curry, Rozier, Harden, Hayward, Oubre, Wood, Core for Express. I think that's good. Higher ceiling, Zubats, Powell, or McHale. Man, that's tough. I mean, those are all pretty similar players. I'm going to go with Zubats there, though. Jokic, KD, PG stack for the fuck of it. Can you make that work? I guess you could. If you're playing like Jeff Green, Simons, you're fading CJ McCollum. You play Tony Bradley. Yeah, I guess you could definitely make that work. Nance thoughts? Not on Nance here. I don't. Nance has been playing the majority of his minutes as the small ball 5, or a lot of his minutes as a small ball 5. Can't really get away with that against this. I guess they could get away with it because when Jokic comes out, they throw JaMychal Green out there, so Nance could be used as that. But man, if Nance is playing at the 4, I just really don't want any part of him. Prize picks, yeah, we can go over some prize picks. I mean, the numbers have moved pretty significantly throughout the day. And actually, I haven't even checked on the scores of Bobby Portis and Clint Capella that we got on earlier because, man, they had absurdly low numbers. Yeah, we can get some bets in here. Man, I do like the over 25 fantasy points for Ivica Zubats. I think he has a very good matchup. Should play about 30 minutes. He's about a fantasy point per minute player. As long as this game is competitive, and he definitely has the best matchup amongst the Clippers tonight. So I do like the over of Ivica Zubats there. Man, I really want to lean the Levine over. $38.5 for CJ. I'd lean the over there as well. Man, I really wish Josh Giddey was still at 24 fantasy points. And also, if I knew this game was going to be competitive, the overs would be so obvious for Harden, Durant, Shea, but this game could easily get out of hand. Actually, I'm going to take the over Draymond Green 31 fantasy points. I like that. You get 3 full points for steals and blocks over here. So if you guys want to tail me, I'm taking the over Zubats 25 fantasy points and Draymond Green over 31 fantasy points. Cool. The numbers did not move. If you guys want to tail me, use code Taylor, TAYLOR, when signing up and depositing for a 100% match bonus up to $100. Yeah, good luck, Ray. Would you play CJ, PG, and Jokic on DK together? I mess around with some lineups like that. You could definitely make some viable lineups like that. I think that's fine. It gets a bit tricky. The value isn't like slam dunk outside of like Simons and maybe Jeff Green, but you could definitely make that work. I think that's fine. I'm personally going with more of a balanced approach today, but you could definitely make all those guys fit. I have a GPP line of Simons, Levine, CJ, PG13, Ty, Bruce Brown, Zubats, and last spot is between CP3 and either DeRozan. Which player gives me a better chance, and could this be safe for cash? I think CP3 is probably the safer option there. But yeah, I think that's fine for cash games for sure. Lonzo, Giddey, or Miles and Bledsoe. Let's go with Miles and Bledsoe there. Cam Johnson or Damian Lee. I'm gonna go with Damian Lee there. Lonzo or Barton. It's got to be Lonzo for me. Trey's going crazy right now. 5 threes in the first quarter. Wow. Stud pay up, definitely Jokic for me. Shortly behind him is going to be my man Paul George. I'll make sure you're gonna bring up this game cast because Clint Capella immediately misses a putback as soon as I tune in. Sick. Solid start. Jeff Green or Aldridge? Probably Aldridge for me. Levine or Paul, DK, GPP. If you have the money to get to Paul, it'd be Paul over Levine. Giddey or Wiggins and DK Cash. Wiggins much safer for cash. Bledsoe and Batum or Bones and Hayward. Going to be Bledsoe side for me. Man or Crowder, last man in. I'm going to go with Terrence Mann there. I think I'm going with Rozier, more real points than Poole with Damian Lee back. Yeah, I think that's definitely the move. Although I am somewhat concerned about Terry Rozier just being used defensively against Steph Curry to chase him around, and he's not used very much offensively because it's really hard to chase around Steph Curry all game and then shoot on the opposite end of the court. Actually, we might be able to take a prop here with that. If we can find Rozier. Like, dude, under 17.5 Terry Rozier points seems kind of nice. Seems very nice, actually. I'm actually going to take that. We're going to play this with the over Zubac. So I'm going to take the under Terry Rozier real points, 17.5, with Zubac over 25 real points. Or, you know, we could take Jordan Poole there, and with Lee back. Okay, I'm just going to take the under on both these. Same game. I think it's pretty sharp. Terry Rozier under 17.5 real points. Jordan Poole under 17.5 real points. Pretty solid reasons to take the unders. Bones or Lee gonna be Lou for me. Like Draymond. Yeah, I think Draymond Green's an amazing play today, given his price on Draftkings. Like the Harden over 22.5 points. Man, I'm really concerned about the blowout here. I think that they should do whatever they want against the Thunder. He could definitely get it done in 3 quarters, but I'm probably gonna avoid that situation. Paul George on DK has not hit 5x value in 6 games straight. Yeah, I mean, blowout this game and blowout this game. So 2 of the last 5 games have been blowouts. Then the other games, I guess 42, 47, 45. I mean, it's not killing you, not winning you a tournament, but the opportunities are definitely there. He hasn't been shooting necessarily that well. Caruso or Kennard, definitely Caruso for me. Draymond, Levine, Alizé, or JRE, PG, and Payne. I'm going to go with the Levine side. Simons and Jeff Green, the top values. Yes, I think so. 5,300 utility on DK. Let's take a look. Yeah, it's probably Zubac for me. Going CP3, Levine, PG, Draymond, Aldridge, Damian Lee, Powell, Simons. Love it, man. So after picking those unders with Poole and Rozier, who do you think scores more real points? I'd probably lean Poole there. It's close, though. They both have big negatives today. Would you play Bridges and Hayward together in a line? I think that's fine. I mean, I don't think the correlation's that bad. Simons, CJ, Powell, Green, Joker, Bledsoe, Wiggins, LaMarcus Aldridge, and DK Cash. Yeah, I'm not really on Wiggins. But you do have Green, though. I was about to say just play Green over Wiggins, but I think that's fine. Wiggins is a fine cash play, for sure. Do you think Jokic is chalk tonight? I don't know. I feel like Kevin Durant is going to be chalk against Oklahoma City, so... And so if you're playing Kevin Durant, you're probably not playing Nikola Jokic. And there's a bunch of good centers on today's slate, so I could definitely see Jokic not being very highly owned.
Advertising is based on one thing: happiness. And you know what happiness?
We got 15 minutes to lock, guys.
It's the smell of a new car. It's freedom from fear. It's
Tate, Bridges, or Dort on DK. It's not Tate, so it's between Dort and Bridges here. I probably lean Bridges here. Is Oubre GPP okay? Yeah, definitely. Am I crazy for liking Powell? No. I mean, now that Lillard is out, he for sure is going to be a part of the closing lineup, and you know, there's more shots to go around with no Lillard. So Powell is definitely in play today. Levine or DeRozan. I like Levine a bit more. Favorite forward under 4.2K. DK. Probably Jeff Green. Appreciate you being here every night and helping us out. Taylor, you are a real one. Appreciate that, Manny. Appreciate the appreciation. Simons or Jeff Green? Definitely Simons. Definitely Simons. Aldridge or Griffin? Definitely Aldridge over Griffin. They play pretty similar minutes, and Aldridge is just a far superior fantasy point per minute player. Averaging 1.13 fantasy points per minute to begin the year. 7,200 left. Utility on DK. Off the top of my head, it's probably Nurkic. Yeah, it's Nurkic at 6,700. I prefer him to Hayward and Will Barton. You're a real one, my guy. It started coming yesterday. Helped me 2x my buy-in in tourney play. Let's get it, man. Appreciate you being here. I'm here every single day. And that's going to continue through the postseason. And hopefully for years on end. Because, you know, this is literally the best job ever. So, really appreciate you guys making this possible for me. Any interest in Kaminsky? At his price tag now, no, not really. Poole or Porter? Definitely Porter for me. Bridges or Bledsoe? Bledsoe for me. Bobby Portis is now in the game. Oh, Clint has 2 steals already too? Nice. Please see this. I got you, Brandon. Simons, CJ, PG-13, Jeff Green, Jokic, Dort, Earl, Oubre, DK, GPP. Love that for tournaments, man. Yeah, no problem, Dylan. Good luck to you as well. Simons, Oubre, PG, Rob, Earl, Jokic, Bledsoe, Draymond, Powell, love it. Jeff Green or Oubre. If I have the money, I probably lean Oubre. Point per dollar wise, it's Jeff Green for me, though. Cam Reddish headed to the locker room. That's no good. But we do have Kevin Huerter, so more minutes for Kevin Huerter. Speaking about FanDuel, yeah, Trey hit 5 threes in the first quarter. Wow. Hopefully the Bucks can keep this game competitive. Actually, we can. What do they have over here? Jeff Green or I just went over that. Will Barton or Mikal Bridges, FanDuel GPP. Definitely Will Barton there. If you have the money, would you go Bledsoe over Simmons on FanDuel? Yes, I would. Yeah, Trey popped first quarter. I'm telling you, the funnest thing to bet on Prize Picks is doing the second half and fourth quarter in-game ones because, you know, the sweat is a lot shorter. And I think that there is just way more edge because they end up, I think that they put out a projection and then they just like, they don't adjust it per quarter. They just divide it. So like second half, they just divide it in 2. But if the game's blowing out and they only play 1 quarter, pretty easy to hit the unders. Levine or SGA? Definitely Levine. Do you like Powell? Yep, I think Powell is squarely in play with no Damian Lillard. Should get a couple more shots up, and is definitely going to be in the closing lineup. So yeah, I like that. Man, if Cam Reddish is actually out, Bogdan's going to have to play a lot of minutes. A lot of minutes, and his projection's only at 11 right now. Give me Prize Picks in Colorado. Yeah, man, it's a shame. But, you know, they're coming around to new states seemingly every day. So, I'm sure they'll be in Colorado sometime soon. Last one, Jeff Green or Robert Covington on FanDuel. I'm going to lean Jeff Green there. Jalen Green over points. LaMelo over 2 threes. I'm not really on Jalen Green today at all. His minutes actually haven't even really been there like they were to begin the year. In competitive games, he was playing like 38 minutes. Now they've scaled back a little bit. So not really on that. The LaMelo over 2 threes, that's interesting for sure. I would lean the over on that. Bobby Portis, man, we need playoff Portis. Yeah, man, he needs to be way more active on the court. It's just like weird seeing Bobby Portis play, and he's just really not all that active. Best center under 4,200. Aldridge is 4,300, so that's unfortunate. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be JaVale McGee for me. Giddey or Powell going to be Giddey for me. Love my lineup, but only left with 3,200 for last spot. Damian Lee in play or anyone else around mid price? Yeah, Damian Lee definitely in play at that price. Lonzo and LMA or Draymond and Bledsoe? Definitely Draymond and Bledsoe. Definitely. Bobby. Can you last 6 more minutes without picking up another foul, please? Yeah, Oubre is definitely in play. Oubre is one of my favorite tournament options. Because assuming that they matched the small ball lineup of the Warriors down the stretch of the game, Oubre should earn some extra minutes. Was everyone so high on Green? Because Draymond Green's minutes have been cut down severely due to blowouts, because seemingly all their games end up being blowouts. It's only a 5-point spread now. It is in Charlotte, so I'm expecting this game to play close. Pace up spot against the Charlotte Hornets, who have a awful defense. They turn the ball over a lot, and so that kind of plays into what we're doing with. I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, which plays into things. And so Draymond, they brought his price down to $6,200, assuming that this game does stay competitive. I mean, he should play like 35 minutes. His minutes have been way down. Every game blows out for the Warriors. But it's more of a DraftKings play than anything. I'm not really considering him that much over on FanDuel. Javonte Green or Derrick Jones Jr. I might just, probably Javonte Green. That's tough, though. I don't like that. KD and OKC, 60 piece coming, MVP. Let's get it, man. JaVale or Covington. Going to be Covington for me. Green better play than Tice. Which Green? Where I'm from Wichita, Kansas. Damian Lee and George, or Zubats and one of Levine and DeRozan. The Zubats side for sure. I would go Zubats and Levine there. 5,800 Ford DK. Let's take a look. How much? 58. Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is like a really shitty spot. I don't like Batum, and I'm not really on Aaron Gordon, so it's probably Norm Powell here at 5,300. So Jeff Green or Tice. Yeah, I like Jeff Green more than Daniel Tice. Simon, CJ Powell, Green, Joker, Levine, Alizé, LMA, Cash, GPP. Yeah, I think that's fine for Cash and GPP for sure. I think Alizé isn't that risky of a play and has big upside for tournaments. Blake or Jeff Green. Gonna be Jeff Green for me. Jeff Green or Tice. Jeff Green. PG over KD. Yeah, I'm kind of just taking a stand there because I think there's like legitimate blowout risk in OKC. So if he doesn't get it done in 3 quarters, I think this Paul George will definitely play 4 quarters. I don't think either team blows each other out. Go Shockers. Yeah, man. Plumlee, not really on Plumlee. I think that he ends up getting, benched down the stretch of the game for a guy like Kelly Oubre when this game ends up going small. Powell or Zubats in utility. Zubats for me. So Griff starts and Aldridge is off the bench, correct? Nurkic on DK. Yeah, Nurkic is a very good DraftKings play. Very, very good DraftKings play. Oh, Bobby. How much time we got left? 5 more minutes, guys. If you guys haven't locked in your lineup, we got 4 minutes actually. So if you haven't locked in your lineups already, make sure to do so. I have no idea what's even going on with the NFL today. Dude, so I guess Cam Newton is just playing now? Oh. He has 2 touchdowns, but in limited action. Oh, my Eagles, man. Let's go. Javonte Smith, 2 tutties already? Shee. Covington or Jeff Green. Gonna be Green for me. Simons, CJ, Powell, Draymond, LMA, Levine, Alizé, and Jokic. I love it. 5K forward spot. DK. There's some 5K guys right there. Yeah, Mikal Bridges for me at 5K. Green, Griffin, or McGee for last spot. DK Cash. Ooh, probably McGee. I'd rank it McGee, Green, then Griffin. If you guys are still in here, I appreciate that, guys. Make sure to drop a like, subscribe if you guys haven't done so already. Earl or Griffin straight up. You know, I'll probably take Earl there. I'll take a stand on that. Griffin is just, like, not active at all. And both of them are in the same game, so equal blowout risk. Joe Harris over 2.5 threes. I've been taking the over props on Joe Harris for a long time. I mean, last game it hit in like the first quarter where he just went absolutely nuclear in that first quarter. But yeah, I mean, Joe Harris is going to shoot. Cam Reddish questionable to return. I really don't think he returns. So Bogdan should play a lot. I mean, man, if he can't get 11, so he's going to play 4 more minutes. So Bogdan's going to play 16, 17 minutes in the first half. And we'll probably see those same minutes next half. I mean, he hasn't even hit 11 fantasy points here, but should. And what's going on with John Collins? 10 minutes. And now they're just like running really small with Collins and Gallo. So, I mean, maybe the under on Clint if they're not going to use him. Fly, Eagles, fly. Let's go, baby. Holy shit. Logo 3 from Trae Young. 11 gamer tomorrow. Let's nuke tonight. Yeah, let's get our bankrolls up so we can smash an 11 game slate tonight or tomorrow. I'm probably going to start working on that right after this because this slate was pretty straightforward. Aldridge or Robinson Earl FanDuel. Definitely Aldridge. Thanks as always, T. Yeah, no problem, man, Hunter. Appreciate you being here. Let's go, Bobby. We got 30 seconds, guys. Make sure to lock in your lineups if you haven't done so already. John Collins got 2 quick fouls earlier. Okay. That makes sense. usually when things like that happen, they'll give him even more run. We saw that the other day with Bam Adebayo, where he was in foul trouble in the first half. Then he played pretty much all of the entire second half and overtime, like all but like 2 minutes. Draymond, Bridges, Barton, or Steph, Mickey, Gordon. Well, that already locked. I'm sorry, man. But if it means anything, I do prefer the Draymond side. Yeah, no problem, Rhythm. Appreciate you guys being here. You guys being here every single day makes this possible for me. So I really appreciate you guys showing up every day, watching my videos, watching my live streams, getting involved in the Discord, as well as liking and subscribing. You know, that's the #1 way of supporting me. So I really appreciate you guys. But yeah, I'm going to head out of here. I'm going to start looking at tomorrow's slate since we have such a big slate, 11 full games. So going to be a lot. Hopefully this is Clint Capella coming in. All right, guys. It is. All right. Appreciate you guys. Best of luck tonight. See you guys at the top of the leaderboards. If you guys are a part of the in-game showdown group, I will see you guys tonight. Tonight we got a Clippers team, which we have had pretty good luck with lately. Yeah, if you guys want to join the in-game group, make sure to join the Patreon link down below. But I appreciate you guys being here. Best of luck tonight. See you guys at the top of the leaderboard.